Today's show is up. It is the Sunday Night Talk. It is week 6 in the NFL. Guess who's back? Carmona is back on the show. We have a lot to discuss, but before we get to it, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please give it a subscribe. We are brought to you by the Running It Back Network. That's where all my videos are. This is my channel. All my stuff is here. I'm putting up YouTube shorts of past shows discussing Halloween, true crime facts, Halloween stories. A couple of them went up this week, so go check them out. Now, on to week 6. Like I said, Omar is here. We have a lot to discuss. It was another long day of football, so why wait? Let's start the show. Omar is here. We just wrapped up Sunday night. It is 10:14 Central Time because the studio and the show has now moved. I am now in Central Time. Although it looks similar, I got the studio going here.
Look, I can't even tell, Pat.
Some modifications are going to be happening. I'm not sure if it's going to stay this way, but
I like
this is how it's going to be. And it's throwing a monkey wrench into everything because it's very late. And as you'll see, it was quite the long day of football.
You look very Midwestern.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so.
Well, I'm new to the area, so I'm still figuring out quite a bit here. But, you know, so far so good. The fact that the Raiders absolutely fell apart today certainly did not help. And as you can see, I defaced my own Raiders t-shirt today.
Yep.
Yeah, it was not a good day. And I even have an extra piece of tape in case I have to mute myself.
Good. Well, we hope it doesn't get to that.
Sorry, I held myself hostage there for a second. So Sunday night just finished. Cincinnati gets the win over the Giants. And I'm wondering this to open up the show with. Is this the Cincinnati we were all waiting for?
Well, I mean, is it really that impressive? I mean, the Giants look like a pretty bad football team. Although the defense did not look bad today. I mean, the defense still held Cincinnati up until the very end. They allowed that late touchdown. But the Giants are bad. And so I don't know if this really if this is indicative of things changing in Cincinnati.
So you weren't really impressed with this win, it sounds like. Nothing caught your...
No, nothing. I think they're still very much underperforming.
Well, I'm gonna take the counter argument here because I think all these wins are gonna be ugly this year. And Joe Burrow picks himself off the mat to convert that third down. They really gutted it out. Take away, the missed Giants field goal there, then missed Giants field goal again, all the goings for it on fourth down. And the Giants very well could have won this game. On the flip side, Cincinnati, if you look at their last 4 weeks, they could have won all those games too, and they kept losing them
easily.
And this one they got on the road. So I'm thinking this is the Cincinnati moving forward we're gonna get. It was a tough win, and it was a defensive battle. When's the last time we had a defensive battle?
Yeah, that was a good one. It was a good one. Both defenses played very well tonight. But I think more than anything else, the Giants' offense is just really, really bad.
Yeah, I have it opening here. The Giants' offense starts out pretty good, then they throw a pick. Daniel Jones throw a pick. And somewhere along the game, Daniel Jones thought he was Derrick Henry and is running like a crazy person, pretty determined, taking some big shots. But it was effective, and it was 7-zip at the half.
Yeah, it was.
And I wrote down, I think this is a good game.
It was.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Where were you on Brian Daboll continually going for it on fourth downs?
I think now he's acting like a person a coach who's on the hot seat.
Oh, you think so? Do you think his number is getting short? What's his time
I,
frame like?
he'll make the season, but this is his last season.
Do you think there's a chance he's fired midseason?
I don't think so. There's just what else are you gonna do? But it's not looking promising for the Giants.
Huh. Really, there's nothing you liked about this Giants performance because I liked a lot of stuff on their defense, and there were times where their offense was moving, especially running. They just couldn't get any drives go. They couldn't complete any drives, and the missed field goal was something as well. So, but you're still down on them. Didn't do anything for you, huh?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Jeez.
No, they lost at the end of the day, so I'm not impressed. Just it's a division that I think right now. I think the Commanders, even though they lost today, are still the class of that division.
Yeah, we'll get to them. They had a great game today, even in a loss too.
Yeah.
I wrote down that, Burrow got really rocked going into that last keep the drive alive third down. Came up off the mat, completed that pass. The Giants get bailed out coming back with that one pass interference. And then it comes down to actually before that, the Giants go for it on fourth down when they don't get it. Would have been a 54-yard kick. The guy had already missed one. This would have been to tie it.
Right.
At that point, I still think they should have went for it, though. I'm fine with them not going for the field goal. Did you want the field goal?
I think I would have wanted the field goal.
You would have attempted a 54-yarder?
Yeah, take the points. Try to get the points.
Wow, even at 54.
Yeah, well, I mean, but these kickers are hitting 60s.
Yeah, he missed one earlier, though. So I think.
Yeah, that's true, too.
I don't know what the wind was doing, but in true Sunday night fashion, the Bengals have to fumble the ball and almost lose it. And then it goes out of bounds. And then the very next play is the run for the touchdown. And it's just the game's on ice at that point.
Right.
So I wrote down, this is not going into the best quote awards, but I think it needs to be mentioned. Chris Collinsworth, we just take this quote out of context. I don't know how many people watching this game have ever been through rehab. He's talking about Daniel Jones's knee, but you could be taking that a totally different way, Chris Collinsworth. They were having fun with this defensive battle.
There wasn't much else to look at.
No, there really wasn't. But that's the true professionalism that is Sunday night. Like they're doing Halloween graphics. They're showing the food of New York. At one point, Chris Collins was like, "How do they get that shot of the library, Mike?" It was
right.
It was how it's done professionally. I gotta say that was good stuff. But you are not into these Bengals. This didn't do it.
No, I think we're taking too much time talking about 2-4 teams. To be honest with you,
so Bengals in or out on the playoffs?
Out.
Wow, still out. No, I'm not ready to give up on them. There are teams we can give up on right now in the season, and Cincinnati is not on that list for me. Cincinnati's on the list for you as give-ups.
Uninspired.
Jeez. I don't know about this. I'm recording this, and then I'm going to replay this for you in December. All right. Main storylines. I got number 1, Detroit wins today but loses Hutchison.
Yeah, big loss. That's their defensive leader.
I got that as a huge loss too, and like a really bittersweet end to what was almost a perfect game on their part. It was tough. We'll talk about that. Great day for Dan Campbell. Great day for Jared Goff. Great day for everything in that game.
Detroit.
Almost
everything Detroit.
Other main storyline. This is our second week in a row of all-day football, which I have now come to a strategy with all-day football. And here it is. Number 1, I say skip the early game. Skip it. Just watch the London game and then go do something. And whenever you get around to that first slate of games, you get around to it. Don't worry about it because this is going to go like last week because of the delay. This is going to be a 14-hour day potentially.
Did you feel like that you had to watch the Bears because you're in Chicago now?
Well, I watched it with some Bears fans. Yeah, and it came on at 8:30 in the morning. So people are kind of like just groggy and coming out and it's like, "Oh, Bears are on. Oh, football. Put it
So
on."
what are people in Chicago eating, drinking? What's the vibe like when they got a London game?
Well, I was watching it with family, so we were just having our coffee, having some biscuits, cooking up some things in the other room, and just like it was a nice kind of set piece to keep getting your breakfast, sit on the couch, and wake up with this game
Okay.
type of thing. So it really, really worked out, and the Bears were winning and doing well. Caleb had the game of the season so far. So it was like ride the wave, ride the wave. So the London game worked out for me this week. Next week, Jacksonville, New England. I don't see myself watching it with the same intent and excitement. So I'm going to say this is a 1 week thing. But how was the London game for you?
I think I just think that it's a bad omen, I think, going to London and getting your butt kicked. That Robert Saleh, came back from London without a job, and now you're kind of looking at Doug Peterson, and who knows how much longer he's going to have a job. He's got one more bite at the London Apple
Yeah,
next
next week.
weekend, and so they're staying. But I mean, I could see another coaching change being made there too, if it's an underperformance by the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence especially.
Yeah, I think the only thing keeping Doug Peterson on the team right now is the fact that they play in London again next week. You can't fire a guy in London and then have another London game. You got to
Right.
keep him for one more week. He's got to stay there. It was rough. I watched that game. I have notes on it, and I thought Trevor Lawrence played fine. I thought his receivers let him down quite a bit. He had a bad pick, of course, but he looks really frustrated out there. He
Yeah,
looks,
there's no rhythm. There's no offensive rhythm there.
and the backup QB finished the game as well in that one. My third storyline: Omar Carmona bails on the show last week. Explain to my audience what
Yeah,
happened,
dude, I
Omar.
was I just was not feeling well. I mean, I thought I was gonna be able to text you like how I'm doing. I fell asleep super early, and then I woke up, and next thing you know, it's 1 in the morning, and I totally missed everything.
It's not me you disappointed, Omar. It's the audience.
The
How could you
legions.
how could you do that to my audience, Omar? No
Sorry,
contact.
man.
You
Won't
just
happen
go
again.
you just go radio silent and I can't get a hold of you.
Yeah, I was passed out asleep.
All right. Well, you owe the show, damn it. All right, let's go to who looked good, who looked bad. Who looked good today? I have even in a loss, Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels looked great. Jaden Daniels looked great.
Looked
Um,
really good. So
he looks
where are you
very
on him? You're
mature.
liking this guy and you like the Commanders.
Extremely high on him.
Well, where's the ceiling on Jaden Daniels this year? What can the
Oh,
Commanders do?
I think they can. I think he could get them in the playoffs.
How far do you think they can go?
I think they can win a division and host a playoff game.
Okay. Yeah, they can host. So, say best case scenario, they're hosting divisional round, they can win that and they can be in the conference.
Well, they'd probably be in the wild card,
Okay. So wild
but
card
still
somehow.
as a division champion though.
Okay. So and then the next week the divisional round, you're saying they'll host it in some way somehow, but not win it. Okay.
No, I'm saying that they'll host on wild card weekend. They'll host.
Gotcha. Okay, win the division and host wild card. And
Right.
you'll think they can win that wild card round, or do you think this
Yeah.
is a year away?
I mean, they can win it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I think a few things fall into place. I think a divisional win is possible too. It's got to be just right. But they
Right.
are really coming together nicely. They look really, really good. And let's give a little credit to Kyle Kingsbury, who we buried 12 months ago in
They
Arizona.
looked very good. Looks
It
very good.
it kind of goes to show you that your coaching career is never dead. You can always
Right.
come back. I also got who looked good is we had the Caleb Williams game. You missed last week, of course. And one of my notes was like, have we seen the Caleb Williams game? No, we have not. And this week we did. Everything
Yeah,
was
the
clean
Caleb,
with them.
very good throws, very accurate with the football. He protected the football. Well, he had a few interceptions, right? He had a
Yep, there was one for sure. And they had some great runs. He was
yeah,
like on the same page with his receivers, like that Komet guy. I think he had 2 touchdown passes in the first half.
yes.
Sharp from Caleb. So let's flip it because we said a couple weeks ago that Caleb and the Bears look like they're a year away. What's the ceiling for Caleb this year?
They're in the same division with the Vikings, and it looks like the Vikings are just steamrolling everyone right
Yeah,
now.
really tough
So
decision that NFC North right now.
yeah, and right now, as it stands, I think they said the first time in history where all four teams this far into the season would be in the playoffs.
Yeah, they all have winning records, right?
Yeah.
Tough division. Minnesota being probably the biggest surprise. Green Bay this week. Jordan
Is
Love
this the
totally
old,
flipped the script. Looks like an
is
MVP.
this bringing up memories of the old black and blue division?
Yeah, maybe this is a revamping of the black and blue division right into October. Really,
I like
were
it.
the Vikings on a bye week this week? What happened to them? Yeah, they didn't
Yeah,
play this
they
week.
they 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 had the week off. They had the week off.
Gotcha. Okay, that's who looked good. Unless you want to add anything, I'm ready for who looked bad.
Oh, Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, you're right into who looked bad. Yep,
Yeah.
Cowboys look bad as well. But I got one big one. Just overall, Coach Sala fired. Our first coach
Yeah.
firing of the year.
Yep.
So
And it's not a good look. I mean, I think something's there with Rodgers. I just think he's an odd dude. I don't want to speculate what's going on, but it's just very weird. You know.
odd or not, I definitely don't buy the fact that Aaron Rodgers wasn't consulted. Like he
Yeah, I
definitely was
agree. I agree.
definitely was told beforehand what was gonna happen. So who they get to replace their interim coach, how this all shakes down. Wow, it is like a Jenga tower right now, and I
Yeah.
don't know how you rebuild this. I don't know what's going on. It's shaky right now, and I totally am ready for the Jets to win like 3 games in a row and for us to pretend they're good. But I mean, it could go. It could just burn it all down right now too. So you're not
Right.
surprised by the firing. I thought he would make it a little bit longer, but
Yeah, I thought so too, but it looks like there was just something that was just not fixable. But another thing is that then they take offensive play calling duties away from Coach Hackett, and that is Aaron Rodgers' I guess preferred play caller. So a
mhm.
lot of interest. It just like just looks like a lot of disorganization there in New York.
It's going to be so interesting tomorrow night because they're the Monday night game. It's going to
Right.
be the main storyline. We're going to be watching Rodgers under a microscope tomorrow, and I, in some weird way, I'm ready for this to be the story of the middle part of the season of the NFL. So I did a little history when it came to coaches, Omar. Do you want to know all the Raiders coaches that I've experienced in my lifetime since 1980, the year I was born? Are you ready?
Can you name them all?
I have them all right here.
Oh, okay,
19,
okay,
1980 to 1987, Tom Flores, our Super Bowl winning Tom Flores.
okay.
This was
That's fine.
this was the birth of my Raiders fandom. Then 1988 to 1989, Mike Shanahan lasted one season. 1989 to 1994, Art Shell. Remember Art Shell? Got us to a conference championship game. Then 1995 to 96, 1 year, Mike White. Who's that guy? Okay. 1997 to 1997, Joe Bugle. Joe
Joe
Bugle.
Bugle, right?
Okay. Now it gets good. 1998 to 2001, the Gruden years. We
Yeah,
had this.
John
This was
Gruden. Yep.
John Gruden, number one. All right. Then, of course, after
Callahan
him,
next, right?
2002 to 2003, Bill Callahan. This was our Super Bowl run. Then 2001 to 2005, Norv Turner. A
North Turner.
little Norv Turner assance there. Okay, then 2006 to 2006, Art Shell's back.
Art Shell back. Yep.
He came back. Okay, then the Raiders tried to get serious for the next couple years. 2007 and 2008, Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin. Remember that when we were all into offensive coordinator geniuses?
Yep.
Okay. Now it gets a little shaky. 2008 to 2010, Tom Cable. Remember Tom Cable?
Oh, I remember that guy.
2011, Hugh Jackson. 2012 to 2014, Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen, yep. Now in New Orleans.
2014, Tony Sperano. I have no idea who that guy was. This is why I have X's on my shirt. This is why.
Yeah.
2015 to 2017, Jack Del Rio.
Jack Del Rio, yeah.
I think that might have been the Carson Palmer revive him from the dead year. Remember he came back to the Raiders and won like one game and then was dead.
Could be.
Okay. 2018 to 2021, John Gruden Part 2.
Yep.
God, we had something with there and it just ended and it kind of felt like there was something left. All right, 2021. Do you remember Rich Bisaccia?
Yeah, remember that guy.
Security guard Rich Bisaccia? Then, okay, gets dark. 2022, 2023, Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels.
Long sleeves, under long sleeves t-shirt, Josh McDaniels. And now Antonio Pierce.
And now Antonio Pierce.
Okay, we're going to talk about that when we get to the Raiders game. Now, Omar, I'm going to go through your coaches since your birth. Are you ready?
Bill Walsh.
1979 to 1988. Bill Walsh. You started off hot. You're already winning 2 Super Bowls.
George Seifert.
89 to 96. George Seifert. Got a Super Bowl out of that
And
one.
Got 2 Super Bowls.
Oh, right. 2 Super Bowls. He was the Denver one. And what was before that? The Bengals.
Oh, yeah. He was Denver and then he was San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. Right. Good one.
Then Mariucci.
97 to 2002. Steve Mariucci. Then the dark years.
Then Dennis Erickson, I think, was somewhere in there.
You're right. 03 to 2004. Dennis Erickson.
Ugh.
Okay. 2005 to 2008.
Mike Nolan.
Mike Nolan.
Yeah.
All right. Now you're coming back up. 2008 to 2010.
Mike Singletary.
Yep. That was the can't play with them.
Yep.
Okay. Then for 1 year, 2010, who was after Singletary?
Is it Tom Sula?
You got it. Jim Tomasula. What's all these
Yeah.
Italian names that coach?
Yeah. I remember
Okay.
that just for a game or two.
Did he do just a game or two?
Yeah, it was just like the last game, I think. So just a game. And then they brought Harbaugh in.
2011 and 2014 was Harbaugh. That was a Super Bowl appearance
Yep.
against the Ravens. Okay. Now 2015.
Did Tom Sula get back
Jim Tomsula's back, baby.
Yeah. Jim Tom
Is
Sula's
he-
back.
Did they not really fire him? They just kept him like, hey, man, we're going to need you as head coach as
Again.
needed. So just stay around.
Yeah. So that's how it was.
We're going to keep you in the blue tent. So get ready to come back. All right.
And then-
2016 for 1 year.
Right. Brian Kelly. No, sorry, Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly. Yep. Yeah, that was when we were like, here comes the Oregon offense to the pros. And boy, did it not work. And that brings us to the current Kyle Shanahan, 2017 to the present.
Yep.
What was your darkest coach in that 42-year history?
The Chip Kelly year was it just felt like rock bottom.
Yeah, I mean, you forget those Niners had some rock bottom years.
Yeah, especially on the Mike Nolan.
Yeah, Dennis Erickson, Mike Nolan,
Singletary.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I thought we'd go through a little coaching memory lane. on there. Okay, let's talk the games. We
Yeah,
mentioned London game.
I think I named them all.
Yeah, you got them all. The only one, and you corrected yourself, was you said you
Mike Kelly,
corrected
then I
you
said
said
this
corrected yourself to
chip.
Chip Kelly. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good. Good job. All right, that brings us to the London game. We liked Caleb. I thought Lawrence was good enough. I thought his receivers let him down. But Jacksonville's bad.
Yeah.
Jacksonville's really bad. And I want to ask the question, who's coaching Jacksonville next year?
No, not it ain't gonna be Peterson.
Who's it going to be, though? That's what I'm asking. So we both
I
think,
have no idea who's.
well, who should Jacksonville take a run at? Belichick?
No,
Offensive coordinator from the college ranks?
they're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do with Lawrence.
Yeah, you're thinking it's time to invest in Lawrence or move on.
Well, I mean, what choice do you have?
Or you have either. I mean, you could. He's not bad. I'm telling you, he's not bad. I think it's a coaching thing. He can
Yeah,
make
well,
the
that's the
throws.
thing. So the next coach is gonna basically have to be a quarterback whisperer.
Yeah, the quarterback whisperer. Yeah. Okay. And one more week of London games next week. They've been fun. I'm ready for things to come
Yeah.
back, but they've been fun. All right. Arizona at Green Bay. Green Bay 34, Arizona 13. Arizona is both good and bad, and we got bad Arizona this
Yeah.
week.
Bad Arizona this week. And a good, actually good, but good Green Bay this week. That
Yeah,
offense
Green
looked like
Bay is looking
they were clicking.
yeah, we're on Jordan Love.
So they're very much in the mix in that division.
Yeah, totally. Like they're becoming the exciting team to watch as well. Jordan Love is
Yeah,
just looks
we'll
like
see.
looks like a younger Aaron Rodgers. He can put that ball anywhere. Then Indianapolis at Tennessee. Indianapolis 20, Tennessee 17. Tennessee is definitely bottom three teams in the league. Would you agree?
And yeah, they're not looking good at all.
Somehow they find a way to score points every week, but they lose. And Flacco just continues to have the Renaissance tour, the comeback tour of Flacco.
Yep.
All right, now this one was fun, but the score sucked. Houston at New England. Houston 41, New England 21. But we got Drake May.
And he didn't look terrible.
You thought he looked okay?
Not terrible. He had some throws get away from him, and then he turned the ball over, but he also had some good throws too.
He threw the one touchdown pass that made the score 14-7, and that's about as close as they got. And if you're of the belief that this is the learning year, then the score really doesn't matter anymore. Just
Yep.
don't get him hurt. Have him get all this experience, and that's all you can hope for at this point. Because New England is struggling. I don't
I agree.
know if there's a lot of teams New England can beat this year. And lastly, I thought it was fun that New England wore their throwbacks, their
Right.
which is good, but those were the uniforms I was used to in New England always getting their ass kicked in. So I don't know if it was exactly good to wear them. You know, it's like,
But
hey,
you know
let's.
but that logo has stood the test of time.
I love the way it looks. It's just like this is such a bad omen. It's like we changed these for a reason, but on the
Right.
screen they look sharp. I definitely will agree with that. Okay, Houston, just picking off these wins week after week.
Yeah, they're good.
Top.
Again, I still think I think they're going to come out of the AFC. I said it in the beginning of the season.
So you got them in your top three teams of the league right now.
Yeah, I do.
So let's say Kansas City, we both agree are going to be number one,
Minnesota number two.
Minnesota two, and then Baltimore, Houston
Yeah,
fighting for the third spot.
I got those guys up there. Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you too. I think it's Houston or Baltimore in that third one, and just given week after week, maybe Houston has a little bit of an edge to that. And
Yeah,
you
maybe.
like Houston out of the AFC this year,
Yeah.
and they went back to their normal uniforms. Thank God.
And also because I don't want the Bills disappointing me again.
Oh, is this a make a pick so you don't disappoint yourself pick?
Yeah, I don't want to say the Bills. It's going to really bother me if they do something this year. I've been trying to pick them for like the last 5 years, it seems.
Do you do what I do and try and do reverse psychology on yourself and be like, hey, don't
Right.
root for the team you actually like. Pretend you're not rooting for the team because somehow your rooting affects the game. Because that's what I end up doing to myself.
Right.
Next game, Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Tampa Bay 51, New Orleans 27. This game was close. I mean, this was a lot of garbage time points by Tampa Bay because New Orleans had a little run, but New Orleans on a bit of a slide these last few weeks. Remember how hot they started?
Hey, but you know what? Tampa Bay's good. I I think that's been one of the more surprising stories of the NFL season is just how good Tampa Bay has looked.
Tampa Bay's become my new team I have to watch because number one, I got Baker on my fantasy team.
Right.
Number two, it's just a fun out of division team that I can glob onto while my team sucks and I
Right.
can root for. And they're really, really good. In New Orleans, I mean, Derek Carr's injured, Taysom Hill's injured. They started Spencer Rattler, who who kind of played okay, but Tampa Bay just rolled them.
Right. It was bad.
So you like Tampa Bay? Like talk me out of Tampa Bay, will you? Because I'm afraid I'm too high on them.
You know, they're going to go as far as Baker Mayfield takes them. You know, sometimes I think he
Yeah.
takes risks. But you know, he put up 51 today. On you know, he's shown that he can go into a shootout. So I like what Tampa Bay's done.
Yeah, who's gonna ruin it for them? Do you think? Like, do you think it's gonna be a team with 3 wins who ruins it for them at the end, or do you think it's gonna
Um,
be tough, good on good, and they lose?
You know, I think now they're gonna establish themselves as being the better team in that division. So I think right now they're looking at being the division champ this year in that division.
I'm a little worried it's gonna be a team like the Rams or something that they lose the last game of the season to, and they lose a home field or something, and thus they get. That's the only thing I'm a little worried about with Tampa Bay, but they're looking really good. They go take care of business in New Orleans, put up 51. They got a lot of
Yeah.
off. They got so many weapons. Next game, Cleveland at Philly. Philly 20, Cleveland 16. Philly needed this win bad. I buried Philly last week. I'm like, this team sucks. This team is bad. I hate the tush push. Jalen Hurts looks sad all the time. And they beat Cleveland, which Cleveland I think is my bottom team in the
I
NFL.
mean, I just think any team right now with Deshaun Watson as the starting quarterback is going to be the bottom team of the league.
It's really not even is he, underperforming. Like Cleveland as an organization, yeah, you could bench him, but now you're paying this guy on the bench. Okay, you could start him,
Right.
but he's not into the game. You're going to lose all these games. Like, I think this is Stefanski's free pass year. I don't think you can blame him for this stuff.
You know what though? The way Cleveland has been though, if history's taught us anything, like they want to. I mean, when they think that a coaching change is gonna, they give 2 years to people. That's it.
Yeah,
And I think Stefanski, I think he could go out the door with Deshaun Watson.
but well, they're not going to get rid of him. They have to pay him. No one's going to trade for that contract. They
Yeah,
can't
and
do
nobody wants
anything.
him. No,
Nobody
they can't
wants
do
him.
anything.
Cleveland backed themselves into the worst deal in the last 25 years of the NFL. This is up there with trading Herschel
I
Walker.
heard somebody saying the worst deal in sports history. Like,
It might
wow.
be. It might be. That's why I don't think you can blame Stefanski. And it's almost like, yeah, let's play him. And if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. Who cares? But Cleveland is like, they can't, there's no decision that's right for them right now with Deshaun. It's bad there. And I can't blame Stefanski. I really can't. Somehow they scored 16 points. Washington at Baltimore. Fun game. Ravens make a statement, I have here. But also
Yep.
the Commodore, or the, what are their names again?
Commanders.
Commanders. I think they made a statement in the loss too.
They're again. I think they're going to win that division. So we're looking at some teams that have very surprisingly impressed me this season.
And Baltimore, I think, yeah, we said that's our like third place top team. Should we be talking more about Derrick Henry and this resurgence from him
Hey, it's
because he's the
good.
best runner in the league right now? Who
He's been playing very well.
Great compliment to the offense, of course, they're running it. Skinny Lamar is like making all the throws, and he's not having that. Like he always had one or two bad throws last year. Like he was going to give you a
Yep.
shot last year, once or twice, and it's not happened this year. And they win this week. They're looking really, really good. Baltimore in the AFC. Would you have Baltimore and Houston playing for the conference championship, or you think KC's going to knock one of them out before?
Casey will knock one of them out.
If Houston has to go to KC in the playoffs, I don't think Houston can get over that. If Baltimore has to go to KC in the playoffs, I think they can get over that.
Yeah,
You agree on that?
I agree on that.
All right, let's go to the late games. Okay, here's where I come into my new theory about how to watch NFL games. Pittsburgh at Las Vegas Raiders. We all know how it went. Here's my theory when it comes to the late games, especially if your game's getting kind of out of hand. Take the third quarter off. Go do something. Go take a shower. Go do the laundry. Just take the third quarter off. Whatever happens, happens. Come back for the fourth.
I like
That's
that.
that's what I say you can do is you can take a quarter off in these games. All right, second week in a row, the Raiders take the opening drive for a touchdown, and then they forget offense. They don't forget how to play offense. They forget offense. They forget it all.
Yeah, it's bad. It's
Ah,
bad.
they're the bottom three of the league, the Raiders.
I mean, well, they don't have a quarterback,
No, they don't.
and they've been lost the last few years at quarterback. Um, since Derek Carr, had to leave there. But there's just they need to be, is it time to just get rid of the season and just start playing for Shador?
Yeah, yeah. When a quarterback is needed, for sure. But if I'm looking at the Pittsburgh matchup, Pittsburgh has mediocre talent. The Raiders have mediocre talent. So it came down to coaching today. And it was Justin Fields was not great, especially in the first half. He throws an interception, penalty, roughing the passer. The Raiders score a touchdown, illegal man downfield. The Raiders have a really close call on the goal line. They call him short on the one. Very next play, the Raiders fumble on the one. This is all little things that killed the game. Not to mention Aiden O'Connell cannot put a team on his back. Not yet anyway. And I think it's time to look to coaching. Definitely offensive play calling
Yeah.
is it. And look who the Raiders had a shot at last year. Caleb Williams, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. So of those three, Omar, who should the Raiders have gotten?
They should have what did they draft? What did they draft? They drafted
They
Brock
drafted
Bowers,
Brock
right?
Bowers, the tight end,
And
who's
what
been great this year, but I mean, not on any of our radars.
no. I mean, maybe they're just waiting for the this year's draft class for the quarterbacks.
So you wouldn't have taken any of those three. You would have said, "Let's go with Aiden and Minshew," because they got Minshew.
Yeah, I don't
I
I
would have
don't
liked to seen Fields. I'll be honest. I would have liked to seen Fields. Now Luke Getzey was the offensive coordinator at the Bears. I don't think they liked each other, so cross him out. Russell Wilson.
I have no faith in
We haven't
Russell.
seen him play yet. Yeah. And then lastly, trade up for Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
It's hard to make any of these calls, but whatever we did was was bad. It's ugly, especially when half the field, half the stadium is Pittsburgh fans in your home field. And Las
Oh,
Vegas
that's
Raiders
brutal.
tickets are outrageously expensive. It's the most expensive ticket in the league. And this is the product you put out. It bums you out when your team is this bad, Omar. Like
That's not good.
it
Not
bums
good.
me out because I walk around all week with my Raiders hat. And last week I was like, okay, I need to buy a second Raiders hat that is a little more nondescript. Like, can I get a black on black Raiders hat? Because I'm embarrassed to wear my own hat. It's rough, man. I'm gonna buy another hat, and it's gonna be just a black Raiders emblem, so nobody notices me.
It's just it's so sad to see a once proud franchise um, just kind of seem like they just care more about the buck than the product on the field out there right now.
Yeah, I agree. It bums me out, 32-13. And you never hear this mentioned about Raiders fan base, but it's a tortured fan base. We hear this about Cleveland fans, and stuff like that, but you don't hear it about Raiders ones, and I think it's time to call the Raiders fan base tortured. It's rough. It's dark days for the Raiders, and I think Antonio Pierce has a lot of eyeballs on him right now. Did you know Antonio Pierce was the linebackers coach? No, he had never been a head coach.
Right. No, yeah.
All right. Detroit at Dallas. The game of the week.
We talked about this one. This is bad. Dallas is bad.
Dallas was bad. I mean, the only thing I have on this really is Aiden Hutchinson breaks his leg.
Yeah.
Kind of mid-third quarter. The
Huge
game's
loss.
a blowout. And I think the next series, Jared Goff took a sack, and I was like, get this guy out. You don't need Goff in the game right now.
No, it was a blowout, and then it was just an ugly game. Ugly game. The Cowboys do not look good.
Really ugly. The Cowboys look. It was Jerry Jones's birthday too. Did you know that?
Yeah, saw that. 82 years old.
82. Tom Brady gets to call another blowout game. And you know what? This is the most insulting thing about this game. Detroit was doing like some cute trick plays. Did you see the one where they threw the ball to the receiver and the receiver laterals it to a lineman?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, Dallas. Don't be the team they try shit out on you. It's
Right.
so bad. I didn't like the way that they did like 2 or 3 of them too. Concerns about Dallas. Is this red flag loss or can they rally?
No, this is sound the alarms.
Really?
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
What is good about Dallas?
Nothing right now. Nothing.
I mean, last week, yes, you bailed on the show last week, so I didn't get your thoughts on the Dallas-Pittsburgh. That was a great final drive for Dak. That looked like the Dallas we thought they were. And in this week, it's like, I think Dak has 2 left hands. I don't think he can't bring these guys from behind. I don't know what's going on with Dallas. And who's in their divisions? Dallas, Giants, I even forgot. Eagles. Can they get out of this division? And Commanders.
Right,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know if they can. Where do you think Dallas goes this year?
They're not going to make the playoffs.
You think so, huh? Is this the year from hell?
Yeah, it's a bad year, yeah.
Okay, so that leads me to the next question. What's the time frame for Mike McCarthy?
This is his last year.
No playoffs, he's out.
He's out.
He did the thing on the sideline where there was a bad play and then they go to his face and he just mouths the word, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, oh, Jesus, man. So he's out this year if they don't make the playoffs. What if they get a wild card? Still out? Or let me ask this. What saves his job? I would say a conference championship appearance.
Yes, for sure. Conference championship.
So losing the divisional, he's out.
Yeah.
Ugh. God, I'm inclined to think you're right. They got speed on the receivers. Their defense has not been great. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Dallas. It's another one that's just like, man, it bumps me up that you're this bad. That you shit the bed on the biggest stages. On the other hand, Detroit looked awesome. Next game, here's a game I didn't watch 1 minute of, Omar. LA Chargers at Denver. Here's my question with Denver. You had a great game last week against the Raiders. You went back to the old Elway uniforms, the Orange Crush uniforms. You won. And this week, you go back to your dumbass maroon matte helmets. Why not stick with a hot hand?
I would have stuck with a hot hand.
Me too.
Love the Orange Crush. But no, Jim Harbaugh had a medical episode in the beginning of that
He
game.
went into the medical tent. I didn't know coaches could go in the medical tent. What are you drinking over there? What are you drinking? Hawaiian Punch?
A Gatorade.
You're insane. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh had a rough day. You know what? I think the medical staff for the Chargers is cursed. Remember when the medical staff guy almost killed Tyrod Taylor?
Yeah, stabbed him in the heart.
Stabbed him in the heart and Justin Herbert. What the hell, Chargers? Oh my God. I'm secretly impressed with this Chargers team, though. They're winning these games under the radar. And I think they could put a run together. This was Herbert's best game. And also in the late game, or the late games, I think there was 2 onside kicks. Vegas did one. Denver did one. I don't know if Atlanta, Carolina did one. But we had a good shot at a couple onside kicks, which was nice. Okay, Atlanta, Carolina. Secret Atlanta month going on right now. Atlanta wins again 38-20. Carolina changed their uniforms today, and I have a quick
like
rule.
them.
I have a rule I want to throw out there. If you have a losing record, you don't get no damn new uniforms. You have to.
Okay.
You don't get no treats.
Well, why not? Why not try to? Maybe it sparks a change.
Okay, that would be the argument for it. Okay, they look pretty slick. I'll give you that. But I don't like when it takes me 30 seconds to figure out what team I'm watching on the screen.
I gotcha.
I just don't like it if you're a bad team. All of a sudden, you got all these uniforms to wear. Very weird. Atlanta's 4-2. What are your thoughts on Atlanta?
They're going to need to catch up to the Bucks. And I think but I think that could be a good little rivalry. The moving forward, the Falcons Bucks to close out this season in that division. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
there.
that could be a fun race for the division champ. Is Bucks and
Falcons.
the Falcons. Baker against Cousins, like two quarterbacks we have a lot of history with, and 2 quarterbacks that really need a redemption run.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that was fun. Really fun week in the NFL, despite my Raiders absolutely collapsing and me defacing my Raiders shirt. All right, let's do the awards, because this week is fun. We've got some good awards here. First award, most memorable moment. I got the Jaden Lamar battle today. I thought that was a great NFL head-to-head, which is kind of hard to get in the NFL, but I thought it was a great head-to-head battle.
I want to throw this out there that I think that as a rookie, Jaden Daniels is a better quarterback than Lamar was as a rookie.
Oh, Lamar took a couple years, right, to get going? Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I really liked the battle. It was fun watching it and kind of keeping tabs on it. Very memorable. What do you got? Memorable moment, or do you like that one?
Memorable moment, obviously, just the memorable, but in a sad way. The obviously Aiden Hutchinson lost for the year with his broken tibia.
Yeah, dark memorable. Oh, I didn't ask you this. Where do you stand on replays for horrific injuries?
No, I'd rather not. I don't like looking at them again.
Yeah, because it came back from commercial and the announcer was like, Aiden Hutchinson had a gruesome leg injury. We're not going to show it to you. And so we never got to see a replay of it. So you agreed with not showing it.
Yeah.
And you're not going to go on Instagram later and try and find it just to see what happened, because I did.
No.
Okay.
I haven't looked. I haven't seen it.
Okay. Yeah. I agree they shouldn't show it, but I am curious to want to see it. That's true. Memorable moment. I'm surprised you didn't throw out your 49er win on Thursday night.
That was a good one too, but memorable. That Hutchinson site was gruesome.
Are you a Brock Purdy apologist? Like when people are talking shit, calling him a system quarterback, and he's just throwing to talent. Are you a Purdy apologist, a truther? Because I thought that was a great game on his behalf on Thursday.
He had a great game. It's just we need him to string those performances, together, consecutive. more consistent with those performances, but he played very well on Thursday night.
Well, here's a hot take on the hot take. I think he's been the best thing about the Niners this year. He
Yeah,
has
it's definitely it's definitely hasn't been the defense. That's where the problem's been.
not the defense, so many injuries on offense. He was moving like peak Tom Brady on Thursday night, just creating space, creating a second, getting out of a sack, turning a throwaway into a completion. I was really impressed. I'm going to become a Purdy truther. Next award, the cringeworthy award, Omar. I got two nominees. I got the backup running back for the Vegas Raiders comes in, gets his first carry of his career, and fumbles the ball. It was, it was horrible. It was horrible. And then I also got a cringeworthy award, Harbaugh's limp. He was limping on the sidelines. That was kind of hard. It's hard to see a middle-aged man limping.
Yeah.
Those are my two cringeworthy awards. What do you got for the week?
My cringeworthy award was definitely watching Jerry Jones just go down on his birthday there in the owner's
God.
box, looking at the worst home loss during his ownership era. So that's definitely a cringe.
You know, we've all had sad birthdays in our lives. So watching him, I was like, fuck, I know what he's going through. And I bet it's 10 times worse for him right now. The fact that you have to be upset on your birthday and a camera in your face. That's pretty cringy. I got a memeable moment for the week on this show, and I got McCarthy's wow. I mentioned earlier, where he just mouths the word wow. I think you could turn that into a meme very easily. Hey, your team just lost 49-9. Wow. Hey, you're gonna play three straight weeks in London. Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
That was my meme of the week. Got any memes?
Not this week. I like yours. I like the wow one. We'll go with
Wow.
that one.
Okay, Best Innovation Award. I've got, all right. I don't condone this, Omar. I'm going to tell you right now, fans of the show, new subscribers, I don't recommend doing this. But here's my innovation of the week. NFL Sunday ticket in the car. Say you're stuck in traffic, which I was today. Because, you know, I told you I kind of skipped the early slate of games. But I'm driving back, and it's getting close to the end of the early game, start of the late. I'm like, hey, wait, I got Sunday ticket. I'm paying for this shit. I'm turning it on in my car. So I'm watching the game in my car. I got the little phone mount. I turn it sideways. Perfect. I can listen to the game. I can peek at it every now and again. Omar, Sunday ticket in the car.
I like that. That'd be pretty sweet. I think there'd be some accidents.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a safety hazard, but
Definitely.
that would be a nice little a nice little convenience.
Yeah, I implemented it today. I was watching Sunday Ticket in my car in a city I'm not too familiar with, by the way. And I got another innovation award, or kind of a question. This one is called Onside Kick Strategy. What are the strategies for the onside kick? You got the kick the ball and hope for the high bounce. You've got the kick the dribbler and hope someone kind of bobbles it. But after that, what are the other onside kick strategies?
I think now it's so limited because it's no longer
Right.
it's no
Surprise
longer a
is out.
surprise. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest one that, I kind of at least like that one where the kicker would try to kick it to himself.
Oh,
Kinda
yeah,
like-
that would
Kinda like
go into the
dribble it up there.
dribbler to yourself. Yeah. You know which one movies have lied to us about? Is the one where the kicker tries to bullet the ball at one of the receivers and get the ball to bounce off of him. I've never seen that tried in an actual game. Have you?
Never.
Why don't they practice that one?
That'd be a good one.
Because we need another onside kick strategy. We need to get creative here and think okay, you can try and get the high bounce, but there's no guarantee that you're going to get the bounce when you need it. The sad onside kick is where they kick the dribbler and it doesn't even go 10 yards.
Right.
And the receiver's just sort of walking around it, waiting for it to go 10, but it goes out of bounds. That's a sad onside kick. But I feel like we're leaving something out there when it comes to the onside kick.
We
So,
need that. We need the element of surprise.
yeah, and that's gone. So now it's just got to be pure strategy. And we really only have two. Get on that, special teams. Best Innovation Award for the week. Can you beat my Sunday ticket in the car?
I don't know if you call this an innovation. I don't like the. I want another innovation to replace this one. I don't like the camera looking at all these fashion statements the players are making as they walk up to the
Oh,
locker
the
room.
tunnel walk?
Yeah.
You don't like it, huh?
Oh, it's enough with all these man purses and man bags that everyone's carrying around.
Old man Carmona's coming out.
Yeah, I don't like it.
What about for I tried to watch the WNBA finals. I couldn't find it. I gave up after 7 minutes. But what about on the ladies' side? Because some ladies are looking really good in their tunnel walk. Are there
Yeah.
exceptions to your rule, or you just don't like it?
I,
Period.
I'm getting tired of like the whole just we just got to make a big deal, you know? Got to
Oh
make
my
a
God, you're
splash.
so old, Omar.
Yeah.
Why don't you like the fashion, Grandpa Carmona? Well, when the NFL day is 14 hours long, something's got to get cut.
Right.
Soundtrack award. I think this is the first week I actually have an offering this week for the soundtrack award because it happened in the Sunday night game. There was a part where I think the Giants were on defense and it was the start of a drive and the stadium was playing the intro to Sweet Child of Mine and it was doing that guitar riff. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, let's get pumped up. This is a good pump up song. And I thought also along those lines is when a stadium plays by The Who, Baba O'Reilly, that really long intro. I'm like, I love those songs in an arena. So I got a soundtrack award this week. Play those
I
in
didn't
a
get a
stadium.
soundtrack. I didn't get a soundtrack award this week because I was watching a lot of split screening this um uh this weekend. So I was just going through announcer's voice to announcer's voice.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
just pure audio. Next award, the Hot Take Award. All right, Omar, are you sitting down?
I'm sitting.
I don't think Antonio Pierce is our coach next year. I think this is
It's
a
gonna
one
be
and done.
tough.
This is a one and done. Like, I just thought of another hot take. Tom Brady is going to become the minority owner for the Raiders this week. Is it inconceivable that we get Bill Belichick? Or is there no way in
Inconceivable.
hell that he would ever
No way.
accept being an employee of Tom Brady's organization?
It'll never happen.
No, okay, all right, talk me off the ledge. No way. Because of that? Because of Brady stuff, or he doesn't like the Raiders or something?
No, Brady. It's the Brady.
Okay. I think you're right. And then my second hot take was Devontae Adams right? I think Devontae Adams might have been right. He's like, get me the hell off this team.
Yeah, he wants. Yeah, and he's made it very clear.
So was Devontae right?
Yeah, he was.
Damn it. I think he was right. Yeah, I'm a little surprised he hasn't found a team yet though. He's been shopped around for about 2 weeks now.
I think the asking price is too
I
high.
think it's too high. I don't think the Raiders are going to get a second rounder for him. So maybe he stays. Wouldn't that be the all-time switcheroo? Devontae actually stays with the
Actually
Raiders.
stayed. Yep.
Damn. Maybe that's a hot take. Devontae stays. What's your hot take for the week?
My hot take. Let's see. I think I've said that Doug Peterson will be the next coach fired.
Oh, that's a good bet to take. Who's our next coach out? Doug Peterson, Stefanski, Mike McCarthy, long odds. Yep. That's a good one. A next award, the Announcer Award. I got one of these. This was kind of fun. Coming out of halftime, the score was 7-0. Cincinnati was up on the Giants. And Melissa Stark has the interview with Brian Daboll, the Giants coach. Start of the third quarter, her question is, how do you put some points on the board? Just straight up question. And she said it with a little bit of tude also. And Dable said, we got to stop hurting ourselves. Blah. But I thought that was a very direct question by Melissa Stark. Announcer award for you, Melissa. What do you got? Any announcer awards caught your
I
eye?
couldn't, like I said, I was just doing split screening and I wasn't like really, I was just going game to game. I didn't really hear, I was just going play to play. Look, it was a crazy day for football. I try to see a little bit of everything.
All right. Well, you have to give some offering for these awards, Carmona. My audience is already upset with you. Location award. I don't always have one for location, but I got one this week. Watching the Cowboys game, they did a little animation that there's going to be like an F1 race around the Cowboys stadium and surrounding complex. So they did the little animation where the car's going around. So location award, Cowboy Stadium.
I want to go location award, Allegiant Stadium, because as bad as those Raiders are, that's still a first class stadium.
Oh, definitely. It kind of bums me out that we've got the nicest stadium in the league, arguably, and the worst team. Did you see Max Crosby push the coach on the sideline coming off the field?
Yeah, that was a little strange. Yeah.
That was pure frustration. There was one point where I think he was talking to the crowd. Like he was kind of chirping back and forth with the crowd. I was like, oh, this is ugly. Best quote of the week. I got a fun one. I think you're going to like. The wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, George Pickens, last week was fined twice. One of the things he was fined for was he wrote something on his eye black that was offensive. And his response was, I didn't know I couldn't do that.
I like that. I did see that. I did see that.
That's a great quote. I didn't know I couldn't do that. I don't know what it was he wrote that was offensive. Do you?
Always effing open.
What? That's not offensive.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, well, I would have said the same thing then. I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Right.
Who did he think would read that? That was one of my best quotes. And then I had Chris Collinsworth and the pregame talking about the Giants. I think there's some real hope for the Giants. I laughed. I laughed out loud when I heard that, Chris Collinsworth.
Not a good take at all.
Now, even if they won, I still would have included that quote in there. You got any best quotes for week 6?
I like Stephen A. Smith basically saying that he'd be fine with the police arresting Deshaun Watson just for being awful.
I think I heard that one. Excuse me, Mr. Watson, we're going to have to take you in. Why? You're terrible.
Yeah.
You're terrible at football. And he's got to go. That's a very good Stephen A. Quote, hot take. All right, we got one more award, and that is Who Won the Week? Omar, start us off.
I'm gonna say that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the week.
Interesting.
I think the Detroit Lions also won the week, although they lost a big part of their defensive leadership.
Yeah,
with Hutchinson, but still a convincing win for Goff and a convincing win for Baker Mayfield. That class of quarterbacks that basically had to move around a little bit before they found a place that they're flourishing in. So I want to say Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff definitely won the week.
Yeah, also Tampa Bay can become the feel-good team of the year because they got hurricane stuff. They're like, oh, we had to practice in New Orleans and we're donating our time. Like, there's got to be a feel-good team every year. There's got to be a no one believes in us team. There's got to be talent realized team every year, and there's got to be a feel-good team every year. And I think that could be Tampa Bay, my secret favorite team. I got who won the week? I got Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell won the week. Did you see he was hugging another coach during the game?
Yeah.
Like he was that high today. So I think Dan Campbell won the week for me. And I'll throw in a little Jared Goff too, but Dan Campbell's got this team. Like this is his team. Everything's clicking. Yeah, they look so good. And that's what makes me sad with this Aiden Hutchinson injury. Like, is this going to ruin the whole setup? Is this going to put a damper? Now, I think the team's strong enough to bounce back from it, but you can't help but feel bad when you lose someone that horrifically. I mean, he's out. He's gone for 12 months.
Yeah, it's a big loss.
Huge loss for Detroit, but I still give Dan Campbell the win for the week. I was gonna give it to Brian Daboll in New York if they had won, because I was gonna try and tie in the Mets too, but I should have known. I can't make these who won the weeks before the actual result happens.
Right.
You can't want it too bad. That's what I've learned. All right, that brings us to Monday night. A really, really watchable Monday night, Omar. We have the Buffalo Bills. What are you, taking pills? What are you doing over there? This is why you're missing Sunday night talks, Omar. You're pilled up. You're popping something over there. Jesus Christ. All right, Buffalo goes into New York Jets. Can I give you a retroactive hot take?
Let's go.
Whoever wins this game is getting into the playoffs. Buffalo wins,
nice.
They're in. Jets win, they're rallying. They're getting in this game for whoever's coaching their team. Bring in Rich Bisaccia.
Jets will not win this game. It's going to be Buffalo 27, the Jets 13.
Okay, 27-13. I'm going to go, if there's anything this season's taught me, is there's a lot of ugly wins. I'm going to go 13-9. Buffalo. The house is burning for the New York Jets the rest of this year.
Yeah.
If somehow they win, I'm going to be on board, but I think they lose 13-9. Aaron Rodgers is going to be pissed. I say they get a field goal, a late touchdown, and they miss the 2-point conversion.
Let's see how it goes.
All right, that was the Sunday night talk for week 6 in the NFL. Omar, I'm going to have to rally. It's going to be a rough week for me with the Raiders being where they are. I'm walking around a Midwestern town with Raiders hats on. Oh, I've been through dark seasons before. We read the coaches. It's been dark before.
Been dark, but good luck to you.
I'm going to have to hold myself hostage again. So for the Sunday night talk for Omar Carmona, for me, Patrick Ramirez, good night, everybody.
Good night.